Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. What is happening? My name is Samuel Adams, and welcome to the Friday episode. It is Friday, March the 30th of 2018, and I am off-centered on the actual screen itself. I hope you guys are doing absolutely amazing today, and we have some pretty impressive gaming news to go over on the show today. I'm very excited about what we're talking about. We have some amazing different kinds of pieces of information for you today. Now, we have some housekeeping to take care of. The first thing is that, of course, yesterday we were featured on the On the Rise section of the Anchor.fm app. So if you don't have that application, I would highly recommend that you check it out. If you are looking to make a podcast, if you are looking for the new hottest podcast, I would highly recommend going ahead and giving that app a download because it is truly impressive what the guys have made over there at Anchor. So that's available on iTunes, it's available on the Google Play Store, wherever you pretty much have apps, you can download it. In the chat, Resm says, "Hey Samuel, how's it going?" It's going amazing, man. It is Friday, we're feeling good. We've got some amazing news stories, including one that I am probably a little bit overexcited about because one of my favorite games of all time is actually getting remastered, so I'm really, really pumped about that. Can't wait to dive into that with you guys. But what else do we have? We have an episode of On the Topic Of that is going to be edited directly after this, which is probably going to be edited off stream because I really need to just pump it out. I can't be looking at links and things like that. I've really got to focus on that and get that out. And then we have that coming out. On Monday, we have an episode of The Drop, and of course, streams scattered throughout. For those of you celebrating the Easter weekend and all of the holidays that entail that kind of endeavor, I hope you enjoy those. Hope you spend time with family and friends over the weekend. And also, you can always hang out with me here in the Twitch stream whenever I'm live. I'm going to be working tomorrow at the actual, occupation that isn't podcasting and streaming and things along those lines. So we have all of that good stuff going on. Asian in the chat says, 6 a.m., still haven't slept. I feel you, man. I feel you. Actually, last night, before we jump into the news, got some amazing sleep. Of course, normally I stream at around 9 p.m. until about 12 or 1 in the morning. Last night I got home so late that I was like, you know what, I'm just not going to worry about it. I'm going to work on some things on the back end. I'm going to bring in the new little intro sound to the stream deck. I'm going to add a couple of things to make everything flow a little bit easier, and then I'm just going to catch up on some sleep, and then lo and behold, I feel amazing. I feel amazing. Saw the new look on Insta. Yo, Decky in the chat. Appreciate that. If you guys are watching the podcast version of this, or excuse me, if you're listening to the podcast version of this, or you're watching on YouTube, feel free. I'm going to move the actual start time of this show to 7 a.m. on Twitch instead of 6 because I feel like that affords more time for people to wake up. Of course, I am Eastern time, so the rest of the United States is still waking up and actually still asleep by the time I'm actually starting the show normally. So we're moving to 7. Because I feel like that's the better option here. So looking fresh, appreciate it, my friend. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the news that we have to address today, because we're going to start off with my favorite topic of the entire day, which is Red Faction Guerilla Re-Mars-tered. I hate the title, is heading to PC, PS4, and Xbox One later on this year. This story is coming to us from Destructoid by Peter Glagowski. Dumb name aside, that is awesome. The very best game in the Red Faction series, Guerilla, is getting a remaster on PC, PS4, and Xbox One this year. Stupidly titled Re-Mars-tered, this new port will contain reworked textures with support for 4K resolutions, along with brand new shaders, shadow maps, and lighting. There isn't mention of whether or not the multiplayer component will be retained, nor whether the price is, or nor what the price is, but the remaster will be launching in Q2 of 2018. While I typically groan at the amount of re-releases we see in this industry, Red Faction Guerilla was easily one of the best open-world games from the last generation. I would say it's one of the best of all time, actually. I love this game. So many people are overlooked it due to the series' pedigree of decent-ish titles. It is a shame. Having the ability to swing a hammer at a building and watch it crumble was not only cathartic, but a central design point of most of the missions. It was I love it so much. We're going to be playing a ton of this. I can't describe how much of this I'm going to be playing. It is going to be fantastic. So yeah, bring on this remaster. Everyone should take a crack at Guerilla, if only to witness a tower crumble onto a car and then explode and start a chain reaction of other buildings getting demolished. This game, okay, we're going to back up. We're going to have a bit of an aside, okay? This is one of the first games that I truly just poured myself into and that I could not stop thinking about. Of course, you have your Call of Duties, you have your battlefields where you are kind of, running simulations in your mind occasionally where you're like, man, I know this map layout, I know how this would go, and I literally have done that in the past. You can see you got some new promo slides, says Raz in the chat. I do. You can check them out right here on stream. But this is one of the best games ever because whenever you actually do swing the hammer and you take out some of the central, important beams of a building, I don't know what you call them, structure points, whatever it may be, whenever you do take those out, the building will literally crumble in the way that you expected. Whenever you plant detonators and you explode, the whole building just blows up. It actually works the way that you would think this entire demolition thing would work. And so whenever you're actually checking this game out and really diving into it, the realism is just engulfing. It is amazing to see. The vehicles control very well. The shooting is on point. The only thing that I could say this game could benefit from is a little bit of a reworking of the cover system. I think that the cover system could use a bit of work. So it is one of those things where there are some trade-offs, but with 4K resolution coming to brand new shaders, new maps, new lighting, oh god. This is going to be probably one of the best remasters of 2018. Decky in the chat says, I'm edging towards the sake of heresy here, but I've never played the game. Listen, it is so worth playing, and I would highly recommend picking it up if you get the chance with this new Re-Mars-tered edition. It is so good. It is so good. No, I will not burn anybody at a stake for not playing this, but it is truly worth checking out. It is fantastic. So, if you want to check out Red Faction Guerilla's Re-Mars-tered edition, then I would highly recommend picking this one up whenever it releases in Q2 of 2018, which I suppose would be sometime during the summer. This is going to be a good summer game as well. The release date of a game is very dependent on the success of the game, or the success of the game is actually very dependent on the release date of the game as well. If this game comes out at, I would say, the beginning of June, middle of July, it's going to do very, very well. Yes, my Marster. No, please, no. But this game is going to do very, very well if it does, in fact, end up coming out in the middle of July, because it's a very dry point, in the year. It's a very time of the year when people are looking for something to play, and to see a game that is sort of familiar. People know Red Faction, people know Guerrilla, at least I do, and I think people that grew up around the time that I did know, they will see this and think, hey, look, it's on the PS4. That's pretty impressive. So I would say that this one is totally worth picking up if you did want to go ahead and give it a shot. I'm not sure what the price point will be. I would say that I couldn't imagine this being any more than $30 or $40. 40 at the max. If it's much more than that, you're running the risk of being a little bit too expensive for the main kind of person. The general public that may want to go back. Because I wouldn't pay $50 or $60 for this game. No, not any way whatsoever. I would pay about $40 or $50. I would pay about $40 or $50. These puns in my chat. What's wrong with you people? Actually, what's wrong with whoever titled this entire game? Like, Re-Mars-tered edition? Ew, that's disgusting. Oh, fine. Fire somebody, please. Fire somebody. Anyways, moving on to the next topic. Spec Ops The Line is free on Humble Bundle right now. We gave it an 8, says Colin Campbell over there at Polygon. I would definitely recommend checking out this game. Spec Ops The Line is free for PC owners for the next 2 days, courtesy of Humble Bundle. Jaeger Development's 2012 shooting game is best remembered for its attempt to bring a sense of melancholy to a well-worn genre. Bullets are almost realistically fatal. Wounded enemies will writhe around in agony. A sad musical score focuses on the grim business at hand. At a purely mechanical level, it's a fairly standard shooter set in a ruined Dubai. Players make their way through sandstorms and broken cityscapes, taking out enemies, but as we stated in our review, Spec Ops The Line tries to do something different. The story that Spec Ops tells goes so far beyond the jingoistic odes to nebulous wartime duty that it almost seems necessary to play. I don't know if I can say Spec Ops The Line is fun exactly. The power fantasy catharsis behind other shooters buckles under the weight of Spec Ops The Line's story of mistakes made and the consequences of intentions. I bit my lip unintentionally there, and that hurt really badly. And against very steep odds, Spec Ops The Line succeeds in what it's trying to do. I wasn't happy that I played through Spec Ops The Line, but I'm glad that I did, and maybe we should be able to make this distinction more often. Humble Bundle's free deal, available on Linux, Macs, and Windows PC, runs until Saturday morning. This game is one of the most impactful games that I have in recent memory. If you have not played Spec Ops The Line, and you have a PC, do me a favor, even if you're watching the stream right now, if you're watching a YouTube video, if you're watching or you're listening to the podcast on Anchor.fm, please, just stop whatever you're doing and go over here and find this game. Just go find this game and play this game and love this game and enjoy it for what it is. Because truly, this is one of the most impactful experiences. It is one of the most beautiful games that I've played in recent memory. I played it on the PC. It is amazing. I can't begin to explain how much you need to go and play this game. If you stream this game. well, actually, if you stream this game and put it in follower-only mode for 10 minutes because somebody will come by and totally kill the ending for you. It's a very impactful... Oh, no. My goodness. I didn't know my alerts were that loud. Oh, my goodness. Thank you for that follow. But, if you are, in fact, just checking out this game for the first time, please, by all means, let me know what you think. I would love to hear your thoughts on all of that. I have to turn that down a bit. That was a bit much. Woo, audio listeners of the podcast are going to be getting a wake-up call, are they not? But an 8 from Polygon is a bit low. An 8 from, like, really, if this is a 9 or a 10, I would highly recommend checking this game out if you have the chance. With that being said... It is free, Humble Bundle, get it, do it. If you have a PS3 or an Xbox 360, 100% recommend checking it out. And also, is it backwards compatible? Hello? Let's see if it's backwards compatible. Yes, Spec Ops: The Line is backwards compatible on the Xbox One. So if you have an Xbox One and an Xbox 360 copy of the game, then 100% give it a shot, give it a look, see what's up. I would highly recommend giving it a look-see. Moving along to the next thing, which is also related to backwards compatibility on the Xbox One, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare is now backwards compatible. If you didn't fall for the Modern Warfare Remastered hype, or you simply want to re-examine Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Unchanged, you can do so now on the Xbox One. The 360 version of Modern Warfare is now playable on the Xbox One thanks to backwards compatibility. Like all previous backwards compatibility releases, this means that you can pop your disc in if you still have it, and Xbox One will automatically re-download the latest version. Alternatively, you can buy the game through the store where it's currently being sold for $17 or $15 for gold members. Both single player and multiplayer should work, and you might even get a frame rate improvement or graphics boost if you're on Xbox One X, though Microsoft has not explicitly stated such improvements have been made. This announcement was made via Twitter by Larry Herb, who is Major Nelson, and he is one impressive individual. The arrival of COD 4 means only its sequels Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 are the two games missing from backwards compatibility, which I would assume are going to be coming at some point down the line, but it's going to be interesting to see, especially with Modern Warfare 2. I know I'm going a bit off the beaten path here. I know that this is not exactly what the story is necessarily about, but Modern Warfare 2 coming to backwards compatibility would mean that Modern Warfare 2 Remastered may be even further out than we think. I would not release Modern Warfare 2 on backwards compatibility if I was going to be pumping out a remastered version of the original game. So, if we are not seeing Modern Warfare 2 and even Modern Warfare 3, we could be getting both of these games remastered and brought up to the newest generation, but I don't know about Modern Warfare 3. Because Modern Warfare 3 came out in 2011, so that would mean that, let's say that Modern Warfare 2 comes out in 2018. Would Modern Warfare 3 be remastered in 2020? I'm old enough to see games that I was playing at the beginning of high school get remastered. What is this madness? You know, like, I don't need this in my life. This is too much. This is too much. So, it will be interesting to see if this does, in fact, become a reality. But Call of Duty Modern Warfare was released in 2007 to critical acclaim and impressive sales. It's considered one of the best games in the series and is credited with kickstarting a surge of modern military shooters and RPG-like perks in competitive shooters, both of which could go on to define the past console generation. If you would like to check out the remaster, Modern Warfare Remastered is currently on the sale. It's on the sale. In the Xbox One spring sale for 30 to 40% off, which is still like kind of expensive, but I might give it a shot at some point. Decky in the chat says, them speculations. I mean, I'm just speculating, but there is a chance. So you're saying there's a chance. But I would love to see this, you know, come to Xbox One, and I'm glad that it is. I think that every game can benefit from a little bit of time in the limelight yet again. You know, I think that the more people that get the chance to play COD 4, the better. It was one of the best Call of Duties of all time. It is probably my favorite COD game of all time because I poured so much time into it, and it was the first real game that I really can say that I loved. I truly do love and did love and will always have a special spot in my heart for Modern Warfare. And I am really just happy to see it coming out. The remaster itself feels a little bit hollow of what I hear. I haven't played it for myself. I've been thinking about picking it up, but I just know that I would pick it up and then I would play it maybe, 3-4 times. I would never really dive back into it. At least I would hope that I've matured to the point where I'm not going to be diving back into it that heavily, you know. I'm not exactly sure about all of that, but regardless, if you have an Xbox One and you have your old copy of Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, then you can dive back into it. Or if you are a gold member and you have $15 in your account, you can get one of the best modern military shooters of all time, and it is now Xbox One backwards compatible with maybe improvements on the X. They don't want to say, they don't want to confirm nor deny, but you could be getting some frames, or that could be the placebo effect taking impact, where you think you think that you actually have improvements, but in reality you don't. Moving along, the Xbox One X update is coming to the Division on April the 12th with 4K rendering, improved reflections, AF, I don't know what that is, and more. Improved reflections, AF, turn up, lit. Oh god, that's good coffee. Anyways, this story is coming to us from WCCF Tech. Alessio Palumbo, maybe? Yes. Ubisoft Massive hosted another State of the Game Division live stream yesterday on Twitch, where they announced that the patch 1.8.1 Strawberry will go live on April the 12th. The update contains 2 new legendary missions, 2 new global events, the modified drop rate for classified and Division Tech, and as mentioned in the headline, the highly awaited Xbox One X update. While the live stream host didn't go into too much detail, let me pause right here. It is so hot in this room, I think that I'm going to have to take this shirt off and go camless for this one. It is so damn toasty. Yeah, a whole bunch of new stuff in the Xbox One update. While the live stream host didn't go into too much detail, they said it would add 4K rendering, higher anisotropic filtering, anisotropic, it looks better, improved reflections, screen space shadows, and object detail. Yeah, that's a thing. These technical terms, I read all of these and it's like, wow, anisotropic filtering. Oh, 4K rendering. I know what that one means. I'm not completely stupid. Improved reflections. Everything here in this little paragraph, it just means it looks better. So essentially, there are going to be a ton of new updates coming to the Division on April the 12th, including ones that make the game look better overall. For the record, the Division runs at 1660p through temporal injection on PS4 Pro, while also featuring improved shadows and reflections over the base hardware. Below, you can find the full patch notes, etc., etc. Currently being tested on the public server. Division 2 might have been announced a short while ago, but Ubisoft Massive promised to keep updating the first game at least throughout this year. I think it was a good move to not announce the Division 2 too soon and really put a lot of time back into the Division, because it is making a resurgence. I played it a couple of weeks back, and I've been playing it. And I really need to dive back into it and really invest some more time into fully experiencing what the game has to offer. But overall, the game has improved very much since it was originally released. I bought it on day 1, I believe. I remember getting it at least in the launch month, and I played through the entire thing. I got it to level 30, and then I just stopped playing. I didn't play the DLC. I didn't go back and really grind anything. And I'm also not somebody that typically likes a grindy game, but I do get into the mood from time to time. I occasionally get in the mood for some good grinding, but yeah, it's an interesting game. I'm excited to see how the Division 2 shapes up, and I think that it will actually end up going very well. But if you want to check out the rest of the patch notes, there are a ton available on both the WCCFtech.com website and also on, of course, the Ubisoft blog, and where your patch notes can typically be found for the Division. But if you want to check out the game, it is on sale pretty frequently right now, because of course the sequel is going to be coming out sometime later this year, I would say, or was it Q1 2019? One of the two. I don't know. You can correct me in the comment section down below, or hit me up on Twitter, or in the chat if you would like. It doesn't really matter to me. But the Division 2 is confirmed. It is coming out, all that good stuff. More to see at E3 of this year, but if you want to check out the base game, it's still a solid experience. I would recommend giving it a look. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty impressed with it overall. Ducky says, in 3D computer graphics, anisotropic filtering, abbreviated AF, is mentioned is the method of enhancing the image quality of textures on surfaces of computer graphics that are oblique, viewing angles with respect to the camera where the projection of the texture appears to be low. So it makes textures look good. It makes things look pretty. Makes them look real good. You just gonna go in there and go get some good textures, okay? Yeah. So if you want to go check out the Division, it's getting a whole bunch of updates, especially if you have an Xbox One X. That game is going to be looking fresh. It's going to be looking crispy. Going to be looking good. Anyways, moving along to the next story coming to us from Polygon. Far Cry 5 players have already created Counter-Strike, PUBG, and Call of Duty maps. It begins. This story is coming to us from Ben Cuchera. Yeah, Wikipedia is great. Far Cry 5's arcade mode is one of the most interesting parts of the game, allowing players to create their own maps and challenges to share with others. You can even earn in-game currency and perks by playing through maps created by the community. Of course, players are using these tools to recreate the games they love, and the results are rocketing to the top of the mode's charts. The version of Counter-Strike's legendary D-Dust 2 map allows players to tap into their memories of the original for effective strategies. And obviously someone jumped straight into designing their take on PUBG. It looks pretty good. I've been watching these videos as well. Here's the Far Cry 5 version of Call of Duty Black Ops Nuketown, which does not look that good. And someone even tried to recreate the Baker House from Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. This is impressive work considering that Far Cry 5 was released yesterday. The arcade mode is likely to continue to spit out surprises as enterprising creators learn how to really manipulate the tools for new maps and ways to surprise players. It's not surprising that so many people are starting this process by recreating things they know and love, but the next step when new ideas come out of the powerful level creation tools should be even more exciting. This is a very exciting little feature of Far Cry 5, one that I think is going to be fantastic in the long run. Razum in the chat says, layman's terms make things look pretty. Yes, AF apparently makes things look pretty, but with the Far Cry 5 map editor that we have here, it definitely is bringing something very impressive to the table and something very, very fun. I think that it's doing something brand new that we don't really see very often. I think that the fact that we have Dust 2, the fact that we have something like PUBG, I mean, it's very impressive to actually watch and see these things. If you look, it's literally a dude that has created PUBG within the game, obviously. Well, there's my audacity, but it looks just, it's very impressive, you know. People can actually go around, pick up guns. It has this little small island. It's essentially a very pretty version of PUBG. Actually, it looks better than PUBG, if I'm being honest with you. But they have the white churches, they have a BR game. So whenever somebody actually does end up, you know, taking some time to create something brand new in this mode, that's when we're going to be seeing some really impressive value with what's brought to the table. Of course, for a day and a half, great. This is amazing. In the chat, Decky says, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 had to design your map feature. It sure did. Did it? I think it did. But regardless, yeah, 3 had it. Yeah, that's right. I would love to see Tony Hawk recreated in Far Cry 5. I'm just saying, anytime I get my hands on a Far Cry 5 experience, or on a Tony Hawk experience, we're talking about something I'm interested in. However, I digress. The fact that this is all happening is very interesting, but what I love the most about the way they have this set up is that you can earn in-game currency and perks by playing through maps created by the community. So this encourages you, hello Ninja, how are you? This encourages you to not just blow off this entire section of the game. This encourages you to go in and see what people have made, even if they are kind of bribing you with in-game currency and different kinds of perks. Because normally I would never even look at something like this. I'm more of the kind that takes the time to just look at what the actual game is bringing to the table, you know, just see what the developers actually had intended for the overall story, and then I'll move on. But with this, the fact that I do have some, you know, encouragement to go ahead and check out some stuff, then I might go ahead and give it more of a shot and see what exactly is going on. So I might give this a shot. I might look at some of this on stream. Decky says, obviously I made maps more than I skated and also trademarked that Farhawk idea. Farhawk, yes, dude, yes. That sounds amazing, but I would love to see what people can make. If you have made something and you're listening to the podcast, or you are watching on YouTube, or you're in the chat, by all means, drop me a line. I will definitely check it out. I don't know if you can check out what people have made via link or something like that, but if you have a video or something of it, by all means, I would love to see what you've got going on. Now, let me rephrase that. Show me what you've got if it's impressive. If you've just went through and made some kind of like shitty rendition of Shadow of the Colossus or something where it's like a stone building and 2 pillars, then you can keep that to yourself. But if you've done something very, very cool, then by all means, drop me a line. We'll see what you've got. Moving along, Sea of Thieves players finally hit Pirate Legendary status. This is coming to us from GameRant, and excuse me, it's Pirate Legend status. Quick correction there. This is coming to us from Joshua Duckworth. Despite having a lot of server issues on launch day, Sea of Thieves has found a dedicated community early on, many that like to form crews and sail the ocean. The shared world action-adventure game, developed by Rare and published by Microsoft, offers players an immersive experience that, is that a correct use of the tilde there? Players? Offers players? No, that's incorrect. We're wrong there. We're wrong there. This is blasphemy. We have blasphemy, chat. Right there, I can't zoom in anymore, but that's the incorrect use of that. Anyways. Offers players an immersive experience that includes 3 pirate factions, each with an independent level cap of 50. To reach this level for each faction earns the player the mysterious Pirate Legend status. The difficulty of such a task is considerable, but that hasn't prevented the Sea of Thieves streamer Prodigy from accomplishing it and earning the moniker of Pirate Legend. He has been broadcasting his progress throughout his journey, which he completed in less than 2 weeks after the game's release. Moreover, because of this achievement, his Twitch streamer has not only earned his new status, but unlocked some post-game content not previously revealed. That's exciting stuff. Before the game launched, Sea of Thieves executive producer Joe stated that this status was really just the start. It was also further revealed that achieving this status unlocks a new secret quest for the game's players, as well as additional secrets. As more and more of this new chapter for the game is uncovered, prepare to see news defining what it means to, in fact, be a pirate legend. Thus far, we know that the pirate legend unlocks a secret area in the tavern section of an outpost. Players have, wait, what is this? Players head underground, okay, and they can purchase unique items from a vendor and acquire new voyages. The new voyages are pretty substantial too. One voyage fills up the player's entire inventory of maps. Check out Prodigy unveiling of the pirate legend secrets. The relevant portions start around the 58-minute mark. Wow, that's a lot of stuff. While the game has endured such difficulties, it's great, it's doing really well, all that good stuff. It's a very impressive game, etc., etc., etc. For those that have never checked out Sea of Thieves, it's definitely worth at least watching on a live stream a couple of times. It's essentially a game where you do just simply pirate. There is not much more to it. You just drive around in a little pirate ship and you sail the ocean and you find some pirate loot, and then you go turn it in at outpost and you get into a fight with some skeletons, and then you attack somebody else's ship. That's essentially what you're getting whenever you go check out Sea of Thieves. With that being said, the fact that it is, you know, adding more content after everybody has finished the game or after somebody has gotten pirate legend status is very cool. I love these little Easter eggs that are within the game. Now, the only thing that I could say is that it'd be cool if whenever you hit pirate legend status, there was actually, you know, actual PvE within the game and some quests that you could do that don't just include finding treasures. That's the thing with the game. It is a good game. It is fun. It is truly a unique experience, I think, and one that is definitely opening up what open world actually means. But when it comes down to it, this game needs more. This game needs to have some meat to it. This game has to have something that keeps me coming back week after week, month after month, before I'm going to be invested in it, because I'm simply not. This is going to be very much a game that is dependent on, and I've said this before, what you bring to the game. Do you have friends that play? Are you really into creating your own kind of adventures and really experiencing a game outside of what is just set out in front of you? This is not a game that guides you along and has a leash that helps you. This is a game that actually requires you to create your own fun, and so for a lot of people, that's too much of a responsibility. For a lot of people, they can't handle that. Decky in the chat says, post-game, find Nemo, Moby Dick, Jack Sparrow. Nailed it. These are ideas. Write these down, Rare. Write these down. These are free for you. I'm going to take them from Decky, and I'm going to put them into your hands and make a Finding Nemo mission actually happen, maybe even a Jack Sparrow mission. This is the day you thought you captured the legendary pirate of Captain Prodigy. I digress. If you want to check out what the post-game content is, I suppose is the best way to put it, you can check out Prodigy's live stream, which will be linked via Game Rant, the actual article itself. And we'll see what exactly there is to have with Sea of Thieves as it does continue to evolve over the next few months. I think that will be very, very cool, and we will see what exactly does end up happening with that. The final story of the day comes to us from Polygon's Samit Sarkar. Excuse me, I butchered that name, as I tend to do from time to time. Doom gets 4K patches for Xbox One X and PS4 Pro. Go to hell in 4K. The long-awaited patch to add Xbox One enhancements to Doom, I'm going to zoom in on this for my old man eyes, is finally coming tomorrow, March 29th, and in a pleasant surprise, developer id Software, is also updating the PlayStation 4 version tomorrow with support for the PS4 Pro. Bethesda announced way back at E3 2017 that Doom would be an Xbox One X enhanced game, but never gave any indication of timing for the patch, and the company has not previously announced plans to add PS4 Pro support to the game. In a brief news post, Bethesda described the update for both platforms as, quote, 4K resolution patch, but provided no further details. Doom is regarded as one of the most impressive technical showpieces in this console generation, relying on dynamic resolution scaling to deliver a near-locked frame rate of 60 FPS. There's no information, well, let me back up, except on Nintendo Switch. Let's establish that. There's no information on resolution targets for the 4K update, though it's hard to imagine that the Pro in particular could sustain 60 FPS at a native 4K resolution. We've asked Bethesda for details and will update this article with any information we receive, but in the meantime, we can perhaps use Machine Games' Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus as a frame of reference. Although it was released a year and a half after Doom, the two games run on the same engine, id Tech 6, and Wolfenstein 2 already supports both the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. Digital Foundry examined image quality and performance in Wolfenstein Wolfenstein 2 across both consoles last November. The analysis found that the game tops out at 1440p on the PS4 Pro, but can and often does reach native 4K on the Xbox One X. On both platforms, the game sometimes scales down the resolution, more often on Xbox than PlayStation, to keep performance in the range of 50 to 60 FPS. We'll also have to see how things shake out in Doom, but we may be able to expect something similar to that. For a glimpse of the game running in 4K, you can check out the gameplay trailer above, although the video does not feature a 60 FPS frame rate. Update: as of March the 29th at 4:06 p.m. the 4K patch is now live on both PS4 Pro and Xbox One X. Bethesda announced on Doom's Twitter account. The publisher also said that a triple XP weekend is in effect for PC as well as PS4 and Xbox One. That's exciting stuff if the multiplayer is still alive. However, we do have this new trailer that is going to be showing off some of the 4K gameplay. Now, for those of you who have never heard of Doom, which I would be surprised if that's any of you, Doom is one of the most impressive games of this generation graphically. Now, of course, the version that's on the Switch is not exactly what you're going to be getting with the 4K version that's on the PS4 Pro or the Xbox One X, or even the base version that is on the PS4 or the Xbox One. Or the PC, but this is just, oh my gosh, this is one of the best games. It's so gruesome, it's so satisfying, it's such a good game. If you ever have the chance to play Doom, if you want to check it out on the on any of the consoles that it's available on, the gameplay itself is just stellar. It was one of the games that whenever it's doing kind of a relaunch, whenever it's kind of rebranding itself and trying to bring back what Doom originally was, this did such an amazing job of just bringing back that raw Doom gameplay that everybody fell in love with back in the day, and just bringing it to a new console generation that needed this. We simply did need this. And so, especially if you have an Xbox One X, it sounds like, but also if you have a PS4 Pro, there's going to be a 4K update. You can check that out, get a couple of higher resolution, boost, and see what you've got going on with that. You might enjoy the game a little bit more. Decky in the chat says, another legendary title I have never played. You need to play Doom. I would say that this is on the list of games you need to play for this generation. It is fantastic. Razum says, I've seen people play the newer version, haven't played it myself. It is great. It is fantastic. I can't recommend it enough. You've got to check this out. Played the Retro Wolfenstein, any Wolfenstein, new Wolfenstein, the new Colossus, New Order, whatever you might be playing. It is great. Old Blood even. You might get some of that hot standalone Old Blood DLC action. You might want to check that out. But yeah, so all of this is going to be coming out, and it came out yesterday, so you can check that out if you already have a version of Doom. And again, that triple XP weekend is going to be happening right around the corner, so that's some exciting stuff. But that wraps it up for today's episode of Caffeinate. I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. If you did, I'm going to close out all of my tabs and have this nice background. Also, a Windows notification sound, which is just great for the podcast. But if you've enjoyed this one, please drop it a like on YouTube. If you are listening on podcast services like iTunes or on Anchor.fm, you can give me some cheers over there, some applause. If you want to check it out on the iTunes rating, you can drop me a rating over there. But of course, if you are just listening to this in general, I appreciate it. I am just a guy that loves video games, and I like sharing what I love with you fine people. And what do you mean, you people? I mean, my people, you know what I'm saying. Anyways, have a great weekend. Have a great Easter. I will talk to you on Monday for a brand new episode of Caffeinate, but I will be doing live streams throughout the weekend and all of that good stuff. Decky in the chat says, post Caffeinate stream or work. I do, in fact, have to edit a video, and I'm going to be uploading that. And then after that, I actually have to go sell one of my DSLR cameras, which I'm going to be getting some hundo bills for. Because I simply have gone on over the past couple of years and bought way too many cameras. I bought way too many mics and equipment, so I've been selling stuff on Craigslist all week, and I finally have a fish that is biting the line. So I'm going to be going and getting some money for that. But regardless of that, Alan, have a good day. Decky, have a good day. Razum, anyone else that's watching in the chat, I want to wish you the best. I want to, again, wish you a happy Easter, and I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Have a great one, and peace.